March 14th, 2018, Wednesday. As the bell rings, the lunchtime begins. Yeah, it's the past again. I gather all of my stuff, put them into my bag, and leave. The hallway is filled with students. As most head for lunch, I look around. That probably should have been a separate sentence. Faith doesn't seem to be around. Guess I'll go alone. Before I can head into the cafeteria, however, I get interrupted in my thoughts by someone I haven't seen for a while.
Hello, Malone.
Hey, Amy. You holding up?
I would say it's better than in the last few days.
Heh, I'm glad.
Did you really miss me so much?
Miss, you don't need the needy. Would you be more glad if I insulted you?
I appreciate honesty, Malone.
Well, you aren't getting it, because I'm certain I would get my ass kicked by Natsuki if she would find out.
That wouldn't be lovely.
No, not really.
Will you be heading to the cafeteria?
Before I can answer, I spot someone from earlier. Tina was currently walking out of a classroom and went an entirely different direction of the cafeteria. She then looks around and quickly slips into a gray metal door. She is surely going through something really hard. No, I'll be having lunch in the courtyard. Amy looks into the same direction as I. When she doesn't see anything, she just shrugs.
Alright then, later.
Later. I make sure that Amy leaves the hallway before heading to the metal door and we look at it. A sign clearly says it leads to the roof. A sticker next to it says, "Entry not allowed." I reach for the handle, then hesitantly pull back. Do I really want this? I sigh as I look around, before opening the door and going inside. After going up some stairs, I come up to the roof, the sun hitting my eyes. The air is more cooler. You don't need more and cooler. It's just cool. The air is cooler here than on the ground. White clouds are plastered across the sky. Oh my god, guys, come on. When I look around, I see Tina sitting on a nearby bench, smoking a cigarette. She frowns as she notices me.
I didn't know you were deaf.
Well, I also can't believe myself sometimes. I place my backpack next to the entrance and go to Tina, sitting next to her. Silence spreads just like yesterday as Tina takes a puff from her cigarette.
Don't you have better things to do than sitting on your goddamn ass?
It's pretty obvious that stuff isn't happening behind your scenes.
What? And?
It's not mentally healthy keeping it a secret, you know.
From when you care about a random gal who once argued in a classroom?
You aren't a giant piece of shit. I can always appreciate that. Tina is struck for a while by my answer. She then, however, returns to herself, as she throws her cigarette butt on the floor and kills the fire with a foot. With her foot?
Then why are you around me, even though I told you to stay away from me?
I look down as the memories from a few months hit me like a truck. I sigh as I stand up, looking at Tina. I have a friend that I've known since childhood. She's known to be bubbly and always happy, like a bundle of sunshine. But there was a secret that she kept hidden from everyone. And the secret was that she had depression her whole life. I hope she doesn't mind me telling you this, and just, it's whatever. Her bubbly attitude was just a facade so that nobody would worry about her. But deep down, she was fighting her own demons every single day. And when she needed help, I was a fucking asshole, and we ended up drifting apart. What makes it even worse is that I was the only reason she wasn't just ending it, and I was fucking ignorant about it. I don't want to do the same mistake with you. Make the same mistake with you.
2 things here. 1, you're not the only reason I'm not apparently ending my life. And 2, that isn't a reason not to respect my privacy, you know?
Then give me one and I'll respect it.
I don't need one. If I want privacy, I should have it. End of discussion.
I just don't want people dying because of my goddamn ignorance, alright?
I won't be dying anytime soon, pal, so I would drop it.
Alright, I'll go then. I grab my bag as I want to exit the roof.
Before you go...
I turn around to see Tina standing up. What?
It's actually nice to see that you care so much about people you like. I would cherish that. After all, that's why I like those people more than
I like those people more on arm's length? At arm's length?
Down to the ground.
I don't know. I don't know what the heck she just meant by that. After that, she goes through the entrance and leaves the roof. I'm left standing there, looking at the entrance. More on arm's length than underground? Your guess is as good as mine, Malone. After a few seconds, I shake my head and leave the roof as well. The present! As I get into the kitchen, I yawn as I head for the fridge. The cold slightly hits me as I look deep into it. Just as I land a look at 3 loose eggs, that alliteration though, I suddenly remember my promise to Tina that I would make her breakfast today. Should I prank her and then say that when I made it, it's mine? Okay, Malone, don't be an asshole just because you want to be. You've made a promise, then do it. I take the eggs and close the fridge as I hear Tina coming into the kitchen.
You were actually serious about it?
I look up to see Tina and smile. You have to keep your promises now.
Malone, you don't have...
Shh. I put a finger on my lips as I silence Tina to my lips. Faith is still sleeping. Be quiet. Tina presents an insulted face as she puts her hands on her hips.
Cunt.
I laugh out loud as I take out a pan from a cupboard and start preparing Tina's breakfast. As a synthwave plays from an USB stick in the radio, I place the plate of scrambled eggs with a spoon on the table. Okay, so here's the thing about this kind of thing. It might be right from, like, a grammatically correct perspective, but whenever you're reading it out loud, it would be a USB. Because even though the letter is U, and it's like a vowel, you're still pronouncing it like a consonant. Whatever. Have a good meal. Tina smiles as she picks up the spoon and starts eating. Now, what will I have for breakfast? I go to the fridge again and take a look. I'm stuck between choosing whenever I'll take a yogurt or ham together with bread. I don't know if this is how they spell it in the UK. They might. This might be one of them extra letter words that Americans bastardize later.
Are you trying to replicate Siberian winter here?
No, I don't know what to pick.
First world problems, I see.
I frown a bit as I look at Tina. You know that I can still take the scrambled eggs.
What, now you really want to be an asshole?
I sigh as I revert my look to the fridge. I was just joking. I simply take the yogurt and close the fridge as I say fuck it under my breath. Fuck it. Before I can sit down with my breakfast, I spot Faith coming down the stairs. I stop from saying anything at the sight of her bags under her eyes. Jesus Christ, did you sleep in the past 3 days? Faith stops and looks at me with an insulted look on her face. She then ignores me as she heads for the fridge and starts staring into it herself. She picks up a box of milk and opens it. She looks into the box and inspects the milk inside. Really? She mistrusts us that much? After a while, she decides that the milk is good and closes the fridge.
What was it this time?
Faith looks at Tina and, for the first time today, relaxes her eyebrows.
Knowing that you've angered the wrong people does get taxing. Just like when the British taxed the Americans. You could say that, way.
Faith then unlocks her cupboard, takes her cereal out, and pours herself a bowl before returning the cereal back. After she is done preparing, and after she locks her cupboard again, mind you, a question pops into my head I'm interested in having an answer for. When was the first time you suspected something, Faith? Faith looks at me, caught a bit off guard as she places the bowl on the table.
Suspected what, exactly?
About Monica. Faith stays silent as she thinks the answer over.
It was a few days after I've joined you when you and Natsuki and I caught the conversation between Monica and Sayori.
Oh, that?
I
nod in response as I try to remember what was that conversation about. What that conversation was about.
I'm telling you the facts here, Natsuki.
This is March 15th, 2018, Tuesday.
Overpowered protagonists are shit. End of discussion. Come on, don't you think heroes kicking evil's ass is fun? I never said that. I said that making them overpowered is shit.
Both Faith and I randomly met Natsuki while on the way to the literature club. When Natsuki brought up a protagonist I have never heard of, Faith replied that she read the book that protagonist is in. She said about her, or at least I think that's the protagonist's gender, that she is annoying sometimes, but at least not overpowered. And that started a discussion between them about overpowered protagonists that has been continuing for the past 2 minutes or so. Or two. Can't read. Oh god. I've just zoned out of the conversation, to be honest. As we're nearing the corridor where the literature club is located, I'm starting to hear voices coming from it. You don't need that in. You can get rid of it. Wait. Faith also notices the voices and stops the group.
What?
Faith ignores Inatsuki as she comes to the corner of the hallway and looks into the corridor.
That's Monica and Sayori. And? Wouldn't they be in the literature club? Maybe they needed to discuss something important. Why are we standing here?
Faith looks again into the literature corridor, as I've heard Monica call it once. I'm crossing my arms as I look at Faith. I don't think this is entirely okay to just listen in on their conversation. I'm opening my mouth to force Faith to go when Sayori's voice suddenly gets louder.
I can't handle this anymore, Bonnie!
Shh! All three of us look at each other. Handle what? Natsuki then frowns and joins Faith in corner eavesdropping. Syria. Shh! As Faith shuts me down, I can again faintly hear Monica and Sayori. Again.
I'm sorry that I scared you like that. I just don't want anyone else to hear us. I don't need more people becoming a problem. Problem?
Sayori says this in a disappointed tone. 1 S, 2 P's.
No, I didn't mean it in that way.
As Monica loudly sighs, I look at Natsuki in the meanwhile. I thought you were opposed to eavesdropping.
I can make exceptions if one of my friends are hurting in any way and I can help them.
She has a point, not gonna lie. I end up also coming to the corner and looking out into the corridor. Monica is looking down, still disappointed once again, disappointed in her word choice, as Sayori watches her with slight confusion on her face.
I just don't want more people to know so that they don't get hurt. I meant it like that.
Sayori looks away from Monica, still a bit unconvinced. Monica then comes to Sayori and places her hands on her shoulder, making Sayori look at her. Both hands on the same shoulder.
Look, Sayori, you were right. No one should be living like that. That's why I was focusing on fixing it for the past couple of weeks. It's been going slow, but it's getting there. Please, just trust me when I say it will be over soon. You've been saying that for the past 2 months. Sayori, I risk everything by doing this. I can't make it quicker without messing it up. If we take it nice and steady, we'll succeed and make our lives better. We should head into the club. Standing here too long is suspicious.
Sayori then mindlessly nods as the both of them head back into the little club. All three of us look at each other with concern on our faces.
None of us will mention that we heard that, understand?
After a while of silence, both me and Natsuki nod.
All right, let's go.
Tense silence is known between us as we go to the literature club. Man, the phrasing's in this mod, dude. What? As Faith... we're back to the present. As Faith, still having bags under her eyes, is checking something on her phone while eating breakfast, I come up with another question for her. What did you do afterward?
I thought about it. Then I called Jude.
My eyes widen a bit at the mention of the name. Jude Ellis is one of our mother's friends we've both known. Or know, basically, since childhood. Known! Past tense! Especially Faith was close to her. Sometimes I even thought that she spent more time with her than our mother. What was haunting, however, was the fact that she is a lieutenant at the local police department in this city. Contacting a police officer usually doesn't mean anything good. Why?
I wanted to see if she could fish out records on Monica and Sayori. And Sayori's file was sort of unexpected. Nothing interesting there. But as we all know by now, Monica's was like a visit to a dentist. Really fucking long.
Wait. So you knew the whole time?
Yeah.
I'm in awe. Why didn't she tell us earlier, for fuck's sake? I sigh as I close my eyes and look down. Probably because she didn't trust you, bro. Alright then. There's no point in getting angry at this point, honestly. Point. I take out Jack Daniels from a cupboard, pour myself a glass, then leave the kitchen. Going upstairs, I go to the end of the hall, turn left, and open a glass door. The morning sun hits me in the face as I step out of the house onto the balcony. With a slow step, I walk up to the bar of the balcony and then lean against it. I watch as one neighbor is cutting wood in his backyard and as another is feeding random birds in front of her house. I don't have to watch for long until I register steps behind me. You mean here? Instinct makes me look around. That's when I find out it's Tina. Tina comes to the bar or the balcony as well as I turn around.
I'm here for a smoke. Nothing interesting.
I take a sip from my drink while Tina is putting a cigarette in her mouth and lighting it up with her Zippo. She leans against the bar as well, taking a puff from her cigarette. Why did Faith keep it a secret? Granted, she was still paranoid at that point, but not on that sort of level, I'm sure of that. While lost in thought, I take a look at the glass of the brown whiskey when I quietly laugh for myself. To myself. Whatever.
Care to share?
I sigh as I look at Tina. Drinking, smoking, nightmares almost every night. Sometimes noticeable bags under our eyes. We're fucking wrecks. Tina doesn't try to dispute that as she looks far into the distance, puffing her cigarette from time to time.
The lights are shining on the sidewalk as I'm faster than most of the cars, forced to stand by because of traffic. That's a really weird phrasing again. I'm pulling my jacket tighter and sniffing through my nose as I'm opening my phone and go for the Maps app. The app tells me it's just a few meters away from a diner I'm heading towards. After a few seconds, I do indeed see the diner and go to its door. It is door. Inside, the yellow lights are shining on the wooden tables. I see no one around. As I land my sight on the closed sign, it's not hard to figure out what. With an encouraging sigh, I eventually decide to test the door.
Encouraging? Can a sigh be encouraging?
And as expected, the door is locked. Or the door is unlocked, rather. With a look around myself to ensure I'm not followed, I step in.